a cloudy day, but we're going to have a little dinner party tonight, and that will brighten things up. So I'm going to make a dessert using a recipe from my Pop It in the Toaster Oven cookbook. Now this recipe is cranapple crisp, but you know what? I'm not going to make it. Not that way. And the reason why is because cranberries are not really in season. I couldn't even find any frozen ones. But I went to the farmer's market and I found some really nice fresh ingredients that can be substituted for this crisp. And I would hope that you would do the same thing. That if you find a recipe that you like, you can readapt it to fresh, local produce. Find this recipe on page 202 of Pop It in the Toaster Oven, which can be gotten anywhere. It can be gotten at Amazon, any place online, any bookstore. It is a wonderful cookbook for toaster ovens. It has over 250 delectable recipes. And this is one of them. So I'm going to show you what I've put together. This is very, very simple. You put the fruit, the berries, and everything in one bowl. You put the topping in another bowl, mix them together separately, then put them together and pop them in the toaster oven. But before I do anything else, I'm going to preheat my toaster oven to 350 degrees. Okay, now here are the ingredients for the topping. And I'm calling for, in my recipe, I'm calling for half a cup of brown sugar. In this case, I'm just going to use the turbinado sugar, which is a raw sugar. A quarter of a cup of wheat germ, which you can buy in the baking section of your grocery store. Here is quick, instant rolled oats, and this is a half a cup of those. Yeah, they'll just cook better if they're not the old-fashioned ones. Here is multigrain breadcrumbs. In this case, you know, I have multigrain bread, and I do make toast. I like toast it really crisp, and then I put it in my blender, and that makes really nice breadcrumbs without any kind of additives or anything. In the recipe, I'm calling for a tablespoon of vegetable oil and a tablespoon of margarine. In this case, I'm going to use 2 tablespoons of margarine. There's the margarine, and then I'm just going to mix this all together for the topping. I figure, in keeping with the quantity of this cranapple crisp recipe, that whatever I found here should equal about between 4 and 5 cups. So I did have the apple, so there's the apple, and that's a cup of apple there. I had some really nice cherries that I pitted. These are fresh cherries, and that's a half a cup of fresh cherries. And then these beautiful strawberries that I found at the market, and this is a cup of strawberries. And I think that will be a good substitute. And then I also have a cup of blueberries. So that's going to be my filling for the crisp, and then I'm going to add a half a cup of sugar, and I'm going to add just a little bit of salt. I think that kind of makes a richer, sweet flavor. And then I'm going to mix this around really good. So there's the ingredients all mixed up, and this is just a Pyrex casserole bowl. You could use a pan if you want, an 8x8 or 9x9 pan. I'm putting the topping on here now to make the crisp part of this. And then I'm just flattening it down like that. Okay, so the toaster oven is up to temperature, so this bowl goes in. And it's at 350, and I'm going to set the timer for 35 minutes. In the cookbook it says 35 minutes, or until the top is lightly brown. Well, there it was, 35 minutes for the strawberry, blueberry, cherry, and apple crisp. True test tonight with my guests. Okay. What do you think about the dessert?
Well, let me take a bite.
Okay, this is that.
Oh, berries.
Yeah, the berries and
I love
strawberry
berries.
crisp.
Wonderful.
Mm-mm.
Do you like it?
I do.
Now we were talking about your books. So you have 2 books that you've done so far.
I have 2 books that are published and 1 book that is written, and I'm currently shopping it around for an agent in a publishing company. The first book is called A Shocking and Unnatural Incident.
Oh, I love that. And I have that book, and it's a real page turner.
If you're into women's lib, if you want to know what life was like for women in the 1840s and before that, then this book will really tell you the real story.
And what is the other one?
The second book is called Wixom Lee is My Salvation.
Oh, and I have that too, and I read it, and I love it.
It's very different from the first book. It's more of a
It is.
personality profile about a young woman who's in extreme emotional trauma.
Great. Wow. So, and what is your website, Georgia?
My website is www.georgiamullen.com, and all the books are available online at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, online.
So you can see that you can substitute practically anything for this cranapple crisp recipe. So give it a try. And if you don't have a toaster oven, you should get a toaster oven. A great thing to have.